Jim Larrañaga is with us. He's on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. We've been proud to call Coach Jim Larrañaga a friend of the show for many, many, many years. And in fact, I remember when Coach L first took the job at we had him on once at the beginning of his tenure, and he was delivering pizzas to dorm rooms to stoke some interest in the basketball program like that. Like he was delivering pizzas to dorm rooms to get students out to the Watsco Center, which is wild to think of. All of a sudden, Charles Barkley's talking about him in the Final Four a couple seasons ago as like the greatest coach who ever walked the earth. Like, I mean, it was really to watch the transformation. But anyway, we're proud to call Coach L a friend. He's going to join us every week to talk college hoops and NBA, movies, Oreo cookies, whatever he feels like talking about. Of course, he coached Canes hoops from 2011 until this season, led our team. I went there, and Crowder's an honorary Cane, to the first ever Final Four appearance for March Madness. He's an inductee in the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame and Museum. He's a nominee to be enshrined in the big one, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, and we're always thrilled to have him on. And it's kind of remarkable to me because when we would have you on during the season, and the season's still going on, you would not be relaxed. You'd be business. Bop, 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 bop. I don't have enough time to talk about Oreos. Now we get a relaxed Jim Larrañaga during the season because you're not coaching. So how do you feel, by the way? Are you enjoying your new life?
Yeah, I sure am. And I'm enjoying this opportunity. And I thank Hochman and Crowder for making this available to me. Because and I was very curious. That's why I asked you, Hoch, about why do we have video when we're on radio? And you explained that to me. That's pretty funny.
We were talking today, and I was talking about my balcony, Crowder. And he's like, why do we have video, by the way? He's like, what, isn't this radio?
It's an audio medium.
And then I'm listening to your argument about the Oreo cookie, and I was sitting at home eating 4 Oreo cookies as you were having this debate. I'm a big Oreo cookie fan, so.
Now, do you like the regular though, or the double stuff, the mega stuff? Regular.
Yeah, regular.
But Coach, you would never just eat the frosting by itself. You have to have that cookie a part of it, right?
Yeah. I told Hoch, it's like, someone asking me, you like Reese's peanut butter cups? Yes. Well, do you like the peanut butter or the chocolate? No, it's the combination that makes that work. Oreo cookies is great because you have that nice blend of cookie and cream. That's what makes that so special.
Right. See? But the cream more special.
You got a big man, you got to have a point guard. You can't just have a big man. You got to have the two.
I don't think I'd be eating, though, the cream if it came out of a toothpaste dispenser. That is not very appealing to me.
His notion of putting cream in toothpaste as the barometer of whether it's good or not, put the cookies in the toothpaste and see how that sells, Crowder. It's a ridiculous argument, which I'm not going to entertain with Coach L on the line. Tell us, Coach L, what you know about Jay Lucas. Canes made it official today. He's going to be your successor as the permanent head coach for the basketball program. What do you know about Jay?
Well, the first thing I would tell him is he has some really big shoes to fill. I was there 14 years. We did an awful lot of great things. And it was so great to work at the University of Miami. It's such a great institution. The people are wonderful. I listened to Jay's interview with Joe Zagacki, and Joe Z did a great job, and Jay did a great job is explaining his interest and how excited he is. I don't know Jay very well. He was an assistant at Duke. Obviously, we battled for the last 3 years. He worked under John Shire, but I'm very good friends with his dad. I hired his dad to work the Davidson College basketball camp when John Lucas was a player at the University of Maryland before he became an All-American in both basketball and tennis. I used to work his dad out at 6:30 in the morning. John Lucas is one of the great guys, great athletes, NBA player, first pick in the draft. So, he comes from a family tree of basketball guys. So I'm sure he'll come in with a lot of enthusiasm and do a great job.
And Coach, I see you still have the UM quarter zip on. Are you staying in South Florida, and are you going to go down there and when Jay gets here and help him out the transition? Because like you said, you were running this thing for 14 years.
Yeah, but I'm not around to help Jay. He doesn't need my help, but I'm around the U. That's my school now. It has been for 14 years. My wife and I love it here. I'm going to continue to work at the university. I'm going to try to do some teaching in the sports management department or a school of education, school of business. I've even spoken at the law school. So I'm going to try to stay involved with the university in whatever capacity I can be helpful in.
If you need some sort of, guest speaker for one of your classes, I can really work a crowd.
What does he need? What does he need you to chime in on?
I have a lot of attributes that maybe you haven't tapped into yet, Crowder, because you're selfish.
You mesmerize students with that. First of all, with your laugh alone, just entertaining them with your energy.
What have you been doing to occupy your time? Because you really, when it's basketball season, which it is now, this has to be the newest of the new for you to actually be watching a college basketball season take place. And you're not, you had every minute of your day scheduled out for you. We know, because when we used to talk to you on the show, it would be like, well, he's got shoot around here. They've got a meal here. We can squeeze you in for 12 minutes there. So what are you doing with all your time?
Well, it's funny you should say. Years ago, I'm talking probably 10 years ago, I write everything down, including my goals. And one of my goals was, when I retire, what will be the next job I'm going to get to? I don't want to be retired. I can step away from the coaching a little bit. So the day after I announced, December 26th was the day I announced that I was stepping down from the university as the basketball coach. The next day I started writing a book. And I wrote 5 chapters on that Friday, another 5 chapters on Saturday, and now I've hired a literary agent and a collaborator to help me with the book. And I'm hoping about a year from now, I hope that book will be published and all you guys will be buying it. You need to buy my book next year.
Absolutely will. Hold on a second. You announced that you're stepping down. The next day you wrote 5 chapters on, you didn't just lay on the couch and watch Judge Judy all day one day, or Below Deck or House Hunters. You just, the day after you stopped, you got right onto the computer and churned out 5 chapters.
What I like so much about the smartphones, I got an Apple and it's the newest brand. I dictated everything. I just told stories. Now, everything is going to be written correctly by the collaborator. But I can't sit still. I've got to work. I'm going to be doing speaking engagements for the Washington Speakers Bureau and traveling. I have one coming up in Orlando with the people who make snacks like Oreos, the people who make those. I'm going to be speaking at their convention in Orlando at the end of the month.
Again, if you need a little assistant.
He doesn't need your help.
But maybe he does. Maybe he'd be done with 15 chapters if I was helping him out, Crowder.
Yeah. No, he'd be done with 3 because you disturb him all the time talking about foolishness. Coach, you don't fish, you don't golf, you don't play roulette, you have to have some hobby that you can do now.
Yeah, well, you guys know what my hobby is. I watch movies. And I love the movies because they tell stories. And I like to tell stories. In my coaching career, if you asked any of my former players, what does Coach L do to teach you different things? And they would say he just tells stories about other players. So you guys remember Chris Sykes, a 5'7" point guard we had, dynamic.
Yep. I always root for the short guys.
He's playing pro ball, but one of the things he and I spoke about, he wants to come back and be an NBA skills development guy. And so he's posting a lot of stuff online. And he posted one of the things was the relationship he and I developed. And he said one of the reasons he came to Miami is because of a story I told him. And he said he talked about his point guard. This is me. I talked about my point guard in high school and how much I loved playing with John Carey, who was 5'6" tall, but was a great high school basketball player, Division I player, played at Iona College. And I told Chris Sykes, hey, our guys will love playing with you just like I love playing with John Carey. And he loved that I played and liked little guys. And so you look at Chris Sykes or Shane Larkin or Angel Rodriguez, you know, none of them was 6'5". None of them were like the backcourt that Duke has right now. These were little tough guys who just were so competitive, and it was great. And that's the way I am. I'm going to tell stories, and I'm going to tell them in the book. It's not just about there'll be some basketball stories, but it's really going to be a business book, a self-help book of how to accomplish things when you're the underdog. Because just about everywhere I coached, when I got there, we were the underdog. We were not one of the favorites. We weren't Duke or Carolina.
He's kind of describing me, Crowder. Scrappy, undersized, tenacious, and I think I might have some eligibility left, Coach L. If you want to talk to Jay, that's totally up to you. But I think I do have some eligibility.
I heard he has open tryouts, so you might want to check on that.
My handles are a little iffy. My handles are a little,
getting the chapter.
little iffy. Let me ask you. I want to ask you about the NBA. Now, your son Jay is a coach with the Celtics.
No,
and was a coach with the Celtics. Clippers.
Yes. He's with the Clippers now.
Clippers. Are you rooting for anyone in the NBA? You're obviously rooting for the Clippers because of Jay, but are you rooting? Like, I'm fascinated with the Lakers and LeBron at his age. They've won 7 in a row, and they have Luka now. And there's a part of me that I just want to see the Lakers go deep because of LeBron being at the tail end of his career and still doing incredible stuff. Is there anything you're watching in the NBA that you're just, as a basketball fan going, I love this story, or I want to see this happen?
I would say the very first thing is I'm a Heat fan. In fact, now that the college basketball season is over, I can follow the Heat much more closely. But I'm a big fan of Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley. I've gotten to know them over the years. Spo's sons come to my camp. Spo comes and watches his little kids in July, and we sit together and we have fun interacting. They've got some home games coming up. They play the Clippers next Wednesday, so I'm going to be courtside at that game with some friends of mine, and I'll be visiting with my son afterwards and hopefully get a chance to see more Heat games. Hawk, I agree with you about LeBron. He's been so inspirational for so many years, and to do what he's doing now at age 40 is mind-boggling. So I can understand people cheering for the Lakers. Almost every player I ever recruited in the LeBron era were huge LeBron fans. I'd ask them who's the GOAT, and they never said, oh, maybe Michael Jordan or Michael Jordan. No, it was always LeBron is the GOAT.
And coach, you're speaking of Eric Spoelstra, where we know he's a Hall of Fame coach too. Eric can coach. And we were talking about the landscape of the NBA yesterday. And I was telling Hawk, the Cavs have a great record, but I don't believe in Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and these two bigs. The names don't jump off to me. Boston, they have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Porzingis. Am I barking down the wrong path when I look and I'm like, they're more talented than them. They're going to win more games in the playoffs than them.
Yeah, the playoffs are a much different set of circumstances. The regular season is a marathon. I mean, night after night after night. Actually, in the playoffs, there's time in between. You get to rest and prepare for that same opponent, and you're going to have to play them. So there's a lot of adjustments during the playoffs, and coaching experience is very, very important. But the Celtics won last year. Joe Mazzulla was a rookie head coach, and he won the world championship. I think one of the things you see about the Cleveland Cavaliers is how well they're playing together. You know, basketball is the ultimate team game. Everybody's got to play offense. Everybody's got to play defense. Everybody handles the ball, scores the ball, defends the ball. So when you are on a team that functions really well as a team, if you can stay healthy, you got a great shot of moving on. The problem in the NBA, which happens every single year, is some key player always gets hurt. It might be for a team that's looking to upset you. But you look at what the Dallas Mavericks did last year. They went to the NBA Finals. That was an upset. I think Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets, one of those two teams are likely to come out of the West based on the way they're playing, and because they have, you know, Jokic is just unbelievable. He's the unicorn.
How do you stop him? How would you stop him? How would you stop him?
Hope he gets hurt. I'd be sure he ate some really heavy caloric meals before the game. I mean, that guy.
Fettuccine Alfredo delivered to his room. Yeah.
And then you have SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with Thunder. He is the leader of the pack. He's the Pied Piper. Everybody's following his lead. And that kind of leadership, I mean, we had it with the Heat when I first came here. We had the big three. You know, Dwayne Wade, he's the icon. He had been here and already won one. You bring on LeBron and Chris Bosh, and now everybody's following their lead. So I think Celtics, Cavaliers, Denver Nuggets, and Oklahoma City. I'd be surprised if anybody knocked them off this year.
Jim Larrañaga, he's going to join us every week. We're going to talk basketball, cookies, books. We can discuss it next Wednesday night at courtside at the Clippers. You said you have a couple extra tickets. I'll join you there. We'll have the time of our lives. The popcorn's on me, Coach. Popcorn's on me. Coach, see, he's already done with us. Okay, he's done. Now he's regretting this. He's regretting
this. I just want you to know it's all about the you. Forget about it.
Yes, it's all about you. Go ahead, Crowder. Crowder, throw it up, Crowder. Come on, week one with Coach L.
I like
Crowder, don't disappoint us.
I enjoy the
you, Crowder.
None of this Florida stuff. That's
nonsense. Nonsense. All right, thank you, Coach L.
We're
we
up
appreciate
there this year
it.
Now. Yes,
this is a Kane-centric show. We appreciate it, Coach L. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
There you go. Coach Jim Larrañaga will join us weekly on the program. I love him so much, and have him relax.
He's awesome
During basketball season is just like, I mean,
he's so smart.
I'm
intimidated by his intelligence. I really am.
I'm intimidated by everything he does. I'm always wondering, am I pushing it one step too far?
And he can always rationalize a common man's smart answer for anything we say. Yeah,
he really can. All right, there you go. Coach Jim Larrañaga, pleasure talking to him as always.